Hello, Insomniacs. I'm Kurious Cyclopes.
And I'm Steve.
So, Steve, what are we going to discuss today on Never Sleep Again TV?
Well, we're going in a little different direction today.
How so?
We're going horror in a different form of media. We're going for horror television.
Oh, wow. How did we not bring this up yet? Well, I'm glad we saved this topic.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, so how do you want to introduce us to this topic?
Well, I think it's only fair to take it all the way back to our childhood days for the first show that we ever got started on, probably.
And what is that, Steve?
A little bit of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I was trying to do that intro part of the show. Yeah, all right, whatever, guys. So, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Well, yeah, I do agree. That probably might have been my first form of horror.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the glimpses when I was like 3 and 4 catching my parents. But, yeah, I mean, I definitely was a huge fan of Are You Afraid of the Dark. So, obviously, you probably started watching it when it came out, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It definitely doesn't hold up. I'll say that much. Rewatching it's a little rough, but it's one of those things that because there's such a deep nostalgic feel for it in your heart, you just kind of love it anyway. Like you get to certain episodes and are just like, man, I fucking love this episode so much. Like it's still a good show, and it's good to if you have nieces, nephews, cousins, whatever, it's a good way to be like, hey, let's watch something cool and different.
So that way you're kind of getting your horror fix without traumatizing them too much.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know you said it doesn't hold up, but are there any episodes that you still think are creepy, or is it hard to even get in that zone anymore with these shows?
I think it's a little hard. I think it's less oh, that's still creepy. It's more just oh, I still kind of like that.
Or that's creative.
Well, what was that? The comic book episode where they microwave the comic book? Yeah.
Oh my god,
I love that.
The
episode
jester that
so
would
much.
make everyone laugh to the point where they would puke up slime.
Yep.
That was pretty scary to me.
Oh yeah.
I was scared of him when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's I think it's still worth having. It's something special to remind us of our childhoods.
I mean, right off the bat, every time I hear Are You Afraid of the Dark, I think of what I call the clown episodes. And, that would consist of the Jester one with the comic that we just discussed. There was also one, I think he might have been Bozo the Clown, but these kids go in a haunted house at a carnival and they steal. There's a legend about this haunted house with the clown guy in it, and they take the nose off of the clown animatronic.
Oh yeah.
And then the clown starts stalking the kid, and it's like, "Give me back my nose." That one scared the crap out of me. The third clown one that I mentioned, and I always think about, is there was a Mother's Day episode where I guess these two boys, they saved up enough allowance to get their mom a gift. Well, the one boy was a greedy little asshole, the younger brother, and instead he bought himself a video game with the money, and his brother got mad. Well, on the cover of the video game, it was a clown that almost resembled Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal. That actually might have been what they were trying to go off, but I'm not sure what came out first.
Right.
But anyway, that was another clown episode, and part of that, the clown used ribbons to wrap the boy up, and he slowly was pulling him in the closet until he was like, I'm sorry, I'm going to return the video game and get my mom a gift.
It's the morality horror.
Dude, that's what I love about some of these kid horror shows, the moral... the morality to it. It's not morality where Jason's if you fuck him, I'm going to kill you. Obviously, it's more kid-friendly.
It's just
it's still cool that there's that moral theme to it.
We're going to scare him, but we're going to teach him a lesson at the same time.
And you know what? I didn't even realize until I got older that you can kind of tell that these kids are all Canadian now. Because my cousin was the first one to tell me that as a teen when I decided to rewatch it. And you can tell now that they're definitely Canadian. Something that's funny is, believe it or not, when YouTube first freaking came out, the literal first thing I did on YouTube was Are You Afraid of the Dark? I was like, you know what? I wonder if they have this on YouTube. And guess what? Before YouTube was taken over by all the corporate crap, they had Are You Afraid of the Dark on there.
Wow.
So every damn minute I was glued to the computer for the first time ever just watching Are You Afraid of the Dark. Yeah. That's when YouTube first came out. It was totally different than it is now. So yeah, I never stopped loving it.
Oh no.
And I see what you mean, how obviously some are less scary, especially this one cyber episode with this virus monster guy. That's corny, even though he kind of creeped me out when I was a kid. But I still respect and honor the nostalgia to it.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, do you think it was effective back in the day? Do you think it scared kids enough?
I mean, I think so. I know it
scared
both
me.
of us.
Yeah. So you know what? I think it's almost really challenging to make horror appropriate for kids, especially if you can have it on Nickelodeon. Like,
Right.
You got to be really skilled to make it scary and appropriate. So they did a friggin' great job. I think. Yeah. So and how exactly? What's the story behind Amazon releasing these?
I guess they put these out where they were made to order. So like they didn't just mass make them or anything and let them sit around, but every time you would order a season, they'd make it right there and ship it out.
And again, I think they might have done that with Rugrats as well, and maybe P and Pete. I know they kind of do limited made-to-order deals for like some Nickelodeon stuff.
Yeah, I know. I got the whole series of Doug in the same format. Yeah.
I need that. But you know what? I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't offer a box set at least made-to-order.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Is there anything you remember about the TV movie that was made at the end of the life cycle?
No, not really.
Okay. I mean, Are You Afraid of the Dark? But yeah, the Are You Afraid of the Dark movie. I just remember there was some evil, scary guy, and it took place in a carnival. To be honest, for whatever reason, I didn't think it was as good as the TV show when I was a kid and it first came out, so I never finished it. But, I will have to get around to it. But, so, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Around the same time, we both also watched Goosebumps, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, as kids, I think, in our mind, the big rivals was Are You Afraid of the Dark versus Goosebumps. Yeah. Even in elementary school, we would argue about which show was better. Obviously, Goosebumps had more merchandise, so I definitely had Goosebumps. I had Goosebumps sneakers, Goosebumps T-shirts, Goosebumps shorts.
Wow.
And books and everything Goosebumps, man. I even had Goosebumps board games, Pogs. So, but if they had more Are You Afraid of the Dark shit, obviously I would have bought that too.
Oh, yeah.
But so that's cool for our beginnings. So I guess we'll move on from there. Any other kid horror shows that we can think of?
I know they were out there. I didn't think there was too many. Erie, Indiana, or some shit.
Do you know what? I'm pretty sure my sister Dina likes that one. Erie, Indiana. Yeah, I do remember that. I had to Google it not too long ago because she asked if I remembered it, and I was like, dude, I do not remember.
Yeah.
But I wasn't into it as a kid, but it was out when we were young, so I will mention Tales from the Crypt. They had a cartoon series. They actually might have had... I know they had a few seasons of it, but I just wasn't into it because... doing a kid's live-action horror show works because it's live-action, but yeah, I just couldn't get scared by a cartoon.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess we'll move on from there. As a kid, we used to obviously look at covers of movies and Blockbuster and 48 Hours, even years before we'd even see the movies and have nightmares. So when I was a kid, I would always look at the Demon Knight covers and Bordello of Blood covers with the Crypt Keeper for so fucking long. I had nightmares about the Crypt Keeper years before I ever watched the show. I didn't even see the show till I was probably 14. Because there was a time when they were playing them at midnight, so I would stay up late to watch them in the summer. So, yeah, I will say... we are definitely fans of Tales from the Crypt. I never really read the comics. I'm sure you haven't either.
No,
but that's how it started. They were old comics, but... So here, I'll give you half of these just to hold up. Yeah. Steve, you liked Tales from the Crypt growing up? Or did you not get around to it?
I think I'm kind of in the same boat as you, that it was something that I didn't pick up on until I had grown up a little bit, but I do appreciate it. You liked it, though? Oh, yeah.
Obviously, it's more geared towards... at least teens and adults versus just
absolutely.
Kids.
I mean, that's what you're going to get from an HBO show anyway. Yeah.
So, I do have all 7 seasons on DVD. I actually kind of... I got, the first few seasons, maybe for, $15, $20, but at Walmart maybe a year or two ago, they started having all the seasons on sale for, $9.99. Yep. So that's how I finished up what I still needed season-wise. And then, guess what? A couple days ago, actually... they released a Tales from the Crypt box set. And of course, it's a beautiful, beautiful box set that has every goddamn season. And if it had come out at the time, I would have bought that. And I didn't even finish this collection until a year ago. So shit, I kind of wish I waited, but whatever. It's good for those who don't have it. And I kind of was surprised that it's a DVD set and not a Blu-ray set. Yeah. I don't know why they decided to go with DVDs. Maybe it was just easier because they're like, we never released a complete set with the DVDs that we had. So.
And depending on how they filmed it and stuff, some of the older things, it's not easy or really effective to transfer it to a higher definition medium anyway. So. Yeah.
But obviously, this show was known for all the damn what do you call it? The special guests. Like they would have like the Meatloaf, and they had all kinds of special guests. So it was fun.
Yeah.
And obviously, they were rebooting Tales from the Crypt. They said they were going to make a whole new Tales from the Crypt. It wasn't going to have the Crypt Keeper. So right off the bat, I was against it.
Right.
But being open-minded about it, I was like, okay, maybe they're going to go with the original host from, like, the comic book. Because the comic books, I'm pretty sure it was just, like, an old man with, like, a cloak or whatever. But I guess they canceled it, right?
Yeah. I mean, they didn't really help it out by dropping you two of the worst pieces of news with the announcement that it was coming, like, right off the bat. Like, yeah, no Crypt Keeper, and guess who the showrunner is going to be? M. Night fucking Shyamalan. Like,
and that's something I totally missed. So when Steve actually told me that, I was like, I'm kind of glad that this remake of the show didn't happen.
And this is like pre-split, before everybody was like, oh, maybe he's back, like when everybody still hated him. So it wasn't good news to hear his name on something.
And plus, these days, apparently it's really hard to make original horror films. So how the hell would they make essentially a million different horror stories for every episode?
Right.
Like, good luck, man.
You have to imagine that they would have gotten to a certain point where they would have done updated spins on original stories. That's what I was thinking. Like,
are they going to actually try to do actual remakes of the most classic episodes, or is it going to be all new?
Right.
But, I'm fine with 7 seasons is enough for me.
Yeah.
And there was plenty of episodes there. So, yeah, Tales from the Crypt, we are glad that the original is in a box set now, even though I'm not gonna get it, and we are, I guess, kind of happy the remake got canceled. So
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Have you really seen Tales from the Dark Side?
I'm familiar with its existence, but I haven't actually seen it. I think it was on Netflix for a while.
You know what? You should at least really watch the first episode, because the first episode might be the freaking best, at least in my opinion, because it actually creeped me the hell out, man. So obviously it's like an anthology show, kind of like, Tales from the Crypt.
Right.
But you know what? Like, this has, a fair share of some sci-fi and horror episodes, but goddamn, like, sometimes this gets a little scarier than Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, really?
To be honest, if I had to choose what I like better, Tales from the Dark Side or Tales from the Crypt, I honestly have no fucking clue.
Wow.
It's funny because for a long time I had the first 2 seasons on DVD, and I was always on the hunt for the last 2 seasons. But at Walmart just a few weeks ago, I found a beautiful, complete box set of Tales from the Dark Side. And guess what? I found one with the slipcover. Most of them didn't have a slipcover, so I'm glad I found one with a slipcover, and it's not too beat up either. Because we know at Walmart slipcovers, they ain't gonna last.
Yeah.
But Tales from the Dark Side, I highly recommend that. Especially out of all the horror anthology shows that are out there, this is one that will really satisfy your horror itch.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, and since I have the box set, who knows? Maybe if we need another contest in the future, I'll have to give away these 2 seasons.
After I borrow and watch them.
Yep, after you borrow them, of course. So, yeah, besides Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side, I forgot to bring it, but I do have the first season of Night Gallery, which is a similar anthology show. My mom actually showed me that, and it's it's a little bit older, but that's really good as well. So definitely check out Night Gallery. What other ones are there that we can think of?
Oh man.
I mean, well, obviously Twilight Zone.
Right.
You and I'm sure we watched the black and white ones as kids.
Yeah.
Especially because it's not like they were necessarily too scary.
No.
It was still, they were really old. So.
Yeah. It almost feels a little more sci-fi for a lot of that too.
Yeah, it really does.
But it's I love that show so much.
Me too. I actually have to get the complete series. The thing is, obviously, it's always expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, the complete original series, because it wasn't until recent years that I didn't even know that there was, like, what was it? There was, like, an 80s version, a 90s version, like...
Yeah, they tried to bring it back a couple of times.
Yeah, and apparently they tried to do it again in the past few years, but nothing happened yet out of it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never really seen the colored ones of Twilight Zone, so I guess I'll try to have to get around to that. Obviously, I know the movie is really renowned for being great, especially with that controversial helicopter death scene in the movie, like how the helicopter actually killed like the kids and the guy or whatever. That's pretty fucked up. But yeah, definitely have to give a shout out to Twilight Zone, because obviously that was probably a big inspiration for some of these other ones.
Oh yeah.
Here's another one. This isn't really well known at all. It came out in the mid '90s, but I guess it might have been around when ghost shows started first becoming really popular. And I'm not too familiar with the legendary actor Patrick McNee, but he's the host of this. So I got 3 different volumes of ghost stories. The show was called, but again, it aired in the mid '90s. I don't think it's too popular or well known.
Yeah.
But a couple years ago, I did see a rerun of it on some cable station. But, this is fun. But this isn't really horror stories. This is, like, supposedly real haunted locations. Right. But, when I was a kid, I did really like the ones that we had for our generation. Like, every Halloween, I would watch Scariest Places on Earth. Wasn't that Linda Blair who hosted it from The Exorcist?
It might have been. It's been so long.
Yeah, there was Scariest Places on Earth, and then there was another one that was kind of their competitor on another program. But yeah, those were awesome. I also liked Big Wolf on Campus, which was, a show that was out when we were kids.
Right.
Horror shows. I think I can't really think of any other ones at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there have been some things out there, like, the X-Files had their more horror
and that's
episodes.
Something people are going to be shocked, but I didn't even really get started with X-Files. Just because as a kid, I thought it was more of a sci-fi thing.
It's kind of,
even though I know there's horror and sci-fi.
Yeah, it has more sci-fi, I would say, but it definitely has some scary episodes, especially if you're younger.
And plus, I heard, like, there's different ways to watch it. Like, they said, if you want the horror ones, watch this list of episodes. If you want the sci-fi ones, watch this list of episodes. And if you want the conspiracy episodes, there's a whole third way to watch them.
Right.
But, maybe I'll have to try the horror route and check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I guess that's really it for horror shows.
Yeah, I mean,
of course, in recent years, we have, like, American Horror Story, and you know what? I gotta say, I watched, a bunch of the seasons. My favorite one overall was season 2 in the Asylum, but oh my god, as soon as they started turning it into a musical, I think it all started with Coven when they had, what's her name?
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks, yeah. They had her do like 2 episodes where there was a 10-minute music video in each one. And then after that, it went on to, what was the next season after Coven? Freak Show. Yeah. For some reason, it was supposed to take place in, like, the old days, yet we had the fucking dude doing Nirvana covers on the stage in the Freak Show. I hate when people have music that isn't period appropriate, because it totally sucks you out of the world. Like, why waste the money on the set of all the old shit and then sing a Nirvana song?
It depends if it's done right. Like, I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen a good example.
I don't know if you saw that show Westworld that was on HBO.
No.
But it's because it technically takes place in present day, but they have, like, this whole fake Western area. There's, like, a player piano in the show that plays, like, Black Hole Sun and songs like that.
Huh.
And that's kind of cool. But, like, what you're talking about with American Horror
Story. Yeah, just straight
Story,
up singing Nirvana and, like, they're like, yeah, come as you are. And I was like, wait, isn't this supposed to be, like, way back in what was it, the 50s or 60s?
Something like that,
something. Yeah. It was like, from the old Freak Show days.
She's doing fucking David Bowie songs.
Oh, my God, yeah. She did, what was it, Life on Mars?
Yeah.
Was it? Dude, yeah, American Horror Story, I try to be open to it. I enjoyed Asylum and Coven the most, but for a horror show, I don't think it stacks up at all compared to the classics.
No, I mean, it started out fine, I guess, but it's just gotten to this terrible place, dude. But then
I gave it a shot.
Oh, yeah. But, we have, like, the Scream show on MTV.
I haven't even watched it, even though one of my friends actually did enjoy that series. But, right off the bat, it turned me off that there's a new mask. Why not just use the Ghostface mask? But is that even truly related to Scream at all?
I have no idea. I haven't watched a single episode.
So, yeah, the Scream series, I guess we don't know too much about it. We just know that it exists.
Yeah. There's The Walking Dead, obviously.
Yeah. To be honest, I saw a bit of an episode in the barbershop a couple years ago getting a haircut, and it didn't do it for me just because I'm not into, like, modern zombie stuff.
I really enjoy it, but it's...
Yeah, I know you watched a long part of it, at least. So.
It's hit and miss, and I like it because I enjoyed the comic books, and it's nice to see that.
I never was into the comics either, so...
It's getting better now. They've introduced this cool villain that they're kind of working with, but it definitely had some seasons where it was like, wow, that was a really bad season of this show.
And other than everything we discussed, the only other ones I can think of that are obviously they're supposed to be somewhat decent, but I haven't seen them is Freddy's Nightmares, which is like Freddy Krueger's.
Right.
I guess he would host it or whatever. And I guess there was just a few episodes with Freddy Krueger in it in the stories, but yeah, there was the Freddy's Nightmares series, and then there was the Friday the 13th series. But apparently, not a single one had anything to do with the Voorhees.
Nope, nothing to do
like
with
his
it.
Mom or Jason. And that was just an anthology series. But
yeah.
I heard some of them were decent. But yeah, I mean, other than our childhood ones and like the big, pretty well-known horror shows, we haven't seen too many, even though there's a good amount out there. But if there's any horror shows that you really, really recommend, or even specific episodes that you think we should watch, please let us know. I mean, whether it's modern or classic, we would love to hear what you have to say.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think that wraps it up for the horror shows, right? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yep, all right. Well, that's going to be it for now. Kurious Cyclopes.
And Steve.
And thank you for watching Never Sleep Again TV. Subscribe, comment, and stay horrifying. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys.